So for today's video, I'm going to be telling you a little bit about my pregnancy from weeks 4 to week 7. Now, I have had so many questions about whether or not I am going to be doing pregnancy updates, and it was something that I kind of like tossed back and forth because I wasn't sure if everyone who watches my channel would be interested in that, because I don't want my channel to turn into like a pregnancy channel all of a sudden. But I figured I would throw in some pregnancy updates here every couple of weeks. That way, like, I'm not doing overkill of, hey, here's week 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, and there's not really a whole lot that changes from week to week. But I thought maybe I would do like a bi-weekly update, or maybe a few weeks, kind of group them at a time. That way, I'm still giving you like a pregnancy update, and I can just kind of, you know, put it all into one little thing. That way, all my videos are not pregnancy updates. So if you are interested in what has been going on in weeks 4 through 7, whether or not you're pregnant at all, or you've been pregnant, or you plan on becoming pregnant in the future, maybe this is a few things that will kind of help you out or know what to look for. Even though I have been pregnant twice, and this is, well, technically this is like my 4th pregnancy. But even though I have 2 living children and I've gone through the whole experience, every time I get pregnant, I still look up YouTube videos on people's symptoms and what they're going through at the same time. So it's really interesting to me to know, like, hey, somebody else is going through this at the same time, or here's, you know, symptoms that I forgot. I completely forgot about how terrible morning sickness makes you feel. And I think as my pregnancies have gone on, my morning sickness has actually gotten worse. With Carter, I didn't have hardly any morning sickness at all. You know, maybe just a little bit of food aversions here and there, and maybe nauseous here and there, but nothing compared to Cooper, who just like completely threw me for a loop. It was like right at 6 weeks. I actually happened to be on a cruise at 6 weeks pregnant. And I mean, we were not trying to get pregnant at this time. The cruise was already scheduled. And so for the time that the cruise was scheduled, I had just turned 6 weeks, and I spent the entire trip asleep and sick. So I knew that for this pregnancy, about 6 weeks, it was going to kick back in full force, and boy, was I right. I'm gonna go ahead and backtrack a little bit to about the time that I found out that I was pregnant, and then go ahead and go all the way to 7 weeks, and then stop there, and then the next time I will group a few weeks together and we'll go from there. So about the time that I found out I was pregnant, I've had a lot of questions about, did you have any symptoms before your first pregnancy test? I did have a few symptoms, and a lot of this stuff might be TMI, so if you're like grossed out by bodily functions, or if you don't like hearing about that kind of stuff, you might want to get out now. But I am a nurse. I have seen my fair share of bodily functions. I have gone above and beyond the TMI level. Like, nothing really phases me anymore. So I'm going to try and keep this PG for those of you who TMI stuff does bother you. But back to the symptoms. Before I found out I was pregnant, like, my test was actually positive. You don't really get those cravings right away. However, like a few days before I found out that I was pregnant, I started to crave Wendy's. And when I start to crave Wendy's, I know that I'm probably pregnant. With both Carter and Cooper, I craved Wendy's. It is bizarre, because usually I'm not like, hey, let's get Wendy's. Like, that's never me when I'm not pregnant. And a few days before I found out, I wanted a Wendy's hamburger so bad. And my husband was like, are you pregnant? And I thought, it's very possible that I'm pregnant, because all of a sudden I want Wendy's. And then the other thing was, I was like walking through Target, and I saw like Sour Patch straws with the little Sour Patch bites. And I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so good. I couldn't even wait to check out. I opened the bag while I was shopping and ate Sour Patch straws. So those were 2 things that I was kind of like, that's strange. The other thing that I have noticed from each pregnancy is that, here's the TMI a little bit. After implantation happens, I've never gotten the implantation bleeding before, but I get number 2 and a lot of it. We'll just put it that way. Anyways, that is usually what happens, and I know that implantation has possibly occurred, and that is because the progesterone like speeds up everything in your body, and that's what causes it. So that's two things that I kind of thought, oh, maybe I'm pregnant. And I get a little bit emotional. I cry over like stupid things, but that was it. I did not have sore boobs. I didn't really feel very tired yet. You know, it wasn't like I automatically started feeling so exhausted. That came a little bit later. So really that's about it. Otherwise, I didn't have any other symptoms. And then once I found out I was pregnant, I felt really good for a while. You know, like there's this period where you're like, am I really pregnant? Because I don't feel pregnant. I feel normal and fine. And I started to feel just a little bit tired. I could feel myself like dragging throughout the day. Like I kind of wanted to take a nap, but nothing like too terrible. Like I didn't feel super exhausted. That came right at 6 weeks. I mean, it was like a day shy of 6 weeks, and the nausea hit, the exhaustion hit, everything hit at the same time. And I knew it was coming, so I enjoyed my few weeks before 6 weeks, but then it hit and I just immediately started feeling sick and very tired. I would get out of bed and go straight to the couch, and when I say I would, I mean most days I still do. I am so tired, and it's just something that you cannot explain unless you've been pregnant before and you've felt the exhaustion that you feel whenever you are pregnant. It's just like you want to get out and do things. Like I'm so tired I can't even go to Target. Do you know how tired I have to be to not go to Target? I haven't been in like a week because I just can't pull myself together enough, you know, besides feeling like I'm gonna throw up every 5 minutes. It's just so tired. I'm just so tired. As far as the nausea goes, I did experience nausea with Cooper. However, I feel like it's even worse this time. And what I feel like is even worse are the food aversions. I never had food aversions this bad. It's almost like everything grosses me out. I was making lunch for my kids the other day for camp. I was putting pizza in Sydney's lunch because she wanted to take it for lunch the next day. And just the thought of putting that pizza in her lunchbox, I was dreading it. So the whole time I'm like cutting this pizza, I'm just gagging. And then I had to make Carter a sandwich. And you know, like whenever you get the bread out of the bag and then you twist the bag back up, the smell of the bread came up out of the bag. That's my husband. The smell of the bread came up out of the bag, like into my face. And I was just like, I just can't even explain it, you guys. If I think of something, if I see food, people have been sending me snaps of their food on, I can't even open the snaps anymore. It literally makes me gag. I have to run to the toilet and hope that I don't throw up. It's crazy. It's so crazy how all of a sudden you get pregnant and everything that you liked before grosses you out. Like chai teas, you guys know that I love my chai teas. I cannot drink chai teas when I'm pregnant. It is bizarre. It has happened in each pregnancy where I'm like, why did I drink this stuff? You know, like why do I like this stuff when I'm pregnant and I taste it? It doesn't taste good anymore. I can only drink water and then like half sweet, half unsweet tea. It can't be too sweet. I don't have a lot of cravings. I will crave things like every now and then, like, ooh, that sounds good, you know, to eat for lunch or for dinner. And if it does sound good, I kind of take advantage of it because not a lot sounds good. I do love to eat plums. I crave plums. And this happened with Cooper's pregnancy as well. For whatever reason, I wanted to eat plums. I like plums when I'm not pregnant, but when I am pregnant, plums are like the most amazing thing ever. The other day, I was like, oh my gosh, I need a loaded baked potato. Never in my life have I said I need a loaded baked potato. It just came out of nowhere. And so I had my stepson, my husband's stepson, who's I also consider my stepson. He was bringing the kids home from camp and I had him stop by Wendy's and get me a loaded baked potato. I completely regretted it after I ate it because it made me feel sick, but at the time, all I could think about was a loaded baked potato. I am on Zofran for nausea, and it is helping right now. As you can see, I woke up this morning, I immediately took the Zofran, and with the Zofran, I also have to take Tylenol because it gives me headaches from you know where. My doctor also called in a prescription for Diclegis, which I hope I'm saying right. That is the weirdest name, but my insurance is not wanting to cover it, so they're having to write some kind of authorization form and everybody has to approve it. I don't even know. It's just a huge mess. So right now I'm taking Zofran, and besides the headaches, I'm doing okay at the moment. It just kind of depends. Sometimes the nausea is so strong that the Zofran just doesn't make a difference. So I am taking Zofran. I took it with Cooper as well. Cooper turned out healthy as can be, so I don't need to hear anybody saying, oh my gosh, you know, did you hear about the Zofran, whatever. I don't need to hear that. I have full faith that my doctor knows what she's doing, and I also have proof that, you know, Cooper turned out just fine. So what else? Let me take a look at my phone, because I wrote down like a few things. I wrote down a few things to talk about, because once I finish this video, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, I forgot to talk about that. I talked about cravings and food aversions. As far as symptoms go, so I am 7.5 weeks right now, and I just feel very tired, and like so tired. I just want to nap all the time. And literally yesterday I napped twice, each for like 2 hours. I was just so tired. I do have kind of like sore boobs, nothing like terrible. I remember with Cooper, before my pregnancy test was positive, I couldn't even hug my husband. They hurt so bad. And with this pregnancy, it's just been like my nipples are kind of like sensitive, but nothing terrible. So it's really interesting how each pregnancy really differs a little bit. And then I guess it seemed like as soon as I took my pregnancy test, my belly just like popped out. It was like, oh, you're pregnant. This third pregnancy, my belly has popped out like nobody's business. I feel like by 5 weeks, I couldn't even button my pants anymore, which is kind of scary to me. I did not gain a lot of weight with both Carter and Cooper. I only gained, I think, 16 pounds with Cooper, and that is because, one, I was very nauseous at the beginning, and then I get extremely bad heartburn towards the end of the second trimester to third trimester, so bad that it makes me just not want to eat. So I would eat very minimal to avoid the heartburn, and I only gained like 16 pounds with him. I think with Carter I gained like 18 or 19. So the fact that like this belly has popped out so quick, and Cooper popped out obviously a lot sooner than Carter did, than my first. Like I didn't show with Carter until, I don't know, probably like 18 weeks or something. But with this one, my belly has already popped out, and it seems like it's just like, here, I'm gonna go ahead and show you all. It's not gonna look that huge to y'all, but to me, I'm used to being able to like see straight down, and now I've got like a little belly there, and it makes me happy. But it's also like at that stage where you're kind of self-conscious, where you're going out places and people are like, is she pregnant, or did she just eat a lot, or did she just like have a belly? Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all. So this is what it looks like right now, and it's obviously tiny, but for 7 weeks it's like, what in the world? You know what I mean? Like, this is not there when I'm not pregnant. There is the 7-week baby bump. So yeah, I am really glad that I have been able to do this video. I have not been feeling great, so every chance that I get to sit down and film a video, that's what I'm doing. I've got on just the most simple, most comfortable outfit pretty much every day. I'm actually on the hunt for some t-shirt dresses because I don't necessarily, it doesn't feel good to have something around your waist, especially if it's too tight. These shorts are awesome. These shorts are from Abercrombie. They were on sale for like $10. But if they're not really comfortable shorts like this, it does not feel good to have anything around my waist. So I'm on the hunt for some t-shirt dresses. If you guys have seen some really cute like t-shirt or shift dresses, then let me know below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little bitty pregnancy update. I hope that I covered everything. I know that I'm going to turn off this video and be like, I forgot to say this, something like extremely important. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.